can take with you through the rest of the year. This class is with Debbie Dower, so you know you're going to be learning a ton of stuff, and it's going to be a great time. If you're interested, it's $40 for the workshop, and I'm happy to help you get enrolled after class. Let's do what we came for, yoga. So start in child's pose, chest to the floor. Take your knees really wide. Toes come to touch behind you. You can take your forehead all the way down to your mat. And start to create your breath here. So in this style of yoga, we practice what we call Ujjayi breathing. So you'll start with your inhale, filling your lungs completely, all the way to the top. Notice the pause there. And then empty your lungs all the way to the bottom. Notice the pause there. Add in a slight constriction to the back of your throat. So moving your tongue toward the back of your throat just a little. So you start to create the sound here on your exhales, like you're intentionally fogging up a mirror. Yeah, and once we all start to kind of build that volume, it starts to sound a bit like the ocean in here. Listen for your neighbor's ocean waves. Add yours to it. I passed out some assisting cards that are sitting at the top of your mat. This is to let me know if you are interested in hands-on assists. And you can feel free to flip that over from yes to no, no to yes, as many times throughout the practice as you like. You're in control of your experience here. Take 2 more breaths here together. Fill up completely, notice the pause. Empty out completely, notice the pause. On your exhale, downward facing dog. So we create our body here in this big upside down V shape. Press down through your hands and your feet to really start to create your foundation in this pose. As you press down through your hands, send your hips all the way past the back of your mat, as long as you can make your spine. Now add your breath to any movement you're taking here. Bending one knee and then the other, shake your head side to side. Whatever movement you need to get the creaks and cracks out, to dust away the cobwebs, and get ready to move. Let's sync our breath up here. Inhale, lift your heels to the ceiling. Exhale, bring them down to the mat. 2 more like that. Fill up. Empty out. Last one. Empty. Step your feet to your hands. Take ragdoll. So this looks like a forward fold with a big rounding in your spine. So you're pulling your belly button all the way up towards your spine to create that big C-shaped curve in your back. Yeah, and then you do you here. If there's some swaying side to side that would feel good, go for it. Maybe a bind with the arms. On your next inhale, rise all the way to stand. Extended mountain, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Hands at heart center. Your opportunity here to decide what you're getting out of your practice, maybe what you're leaving behind. My intention for us all is just to create some joy here this afternoon. So big breath in, exhale it out, and we'll start with 3 ohms together. Fill. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift on your inhale, fill up, and fold, exhale. Extended mountain. Breathe in as you reach up. Exhale as you fold. Nice, just matching the breath with the movement. Inhale, half lift and fold. Extended mountain. Fill up, look up, fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Step or hop back to high plank and lower down to low plank. Upward facing dog. Inhale, pull your chest forward. Downward facing dog. And that's what our Sun A looks like. So breathe in, empty it out. 2 more together. And empty. Last one, fill up, lift up. Empty all the way out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain. Reach up as you inhale. Fold as you exhale. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Step or hop back. Upward facing dog. Pull your heart forward. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And empty. 2 more. Fill up. Empty out. Come on up to your tippy toes. Exhale, bend and hover your knees. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And empty. 2 more. Fill. Empty out completely. Last time. Empty. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain. Press your chest up to the ceiling. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in and out. Yes, sometimes your neighbor needs you to be the breath warrior. Last one here, fill up. Empty completely. Feet to hands, halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, sink down low, reach up high. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior 1. Step your right foot forward, come into a low lunge. Pause here at the top. Yeah, come down far enough in your lunge that you can feel the stretch on the front side of your left hip flexor. Only you know how that feels, so sink down until you feel it. Now reach up really high, length on both sides of your body. 1 more inhale. Chaturanga on your exhale. Flow through. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step and reach. Inhale to the top and pause. Press down the whole sole of your back foot so that even the heel down on the floor. You got it. Sink down lower. Pull your front ribs in towards center. 2 more breaths. Lift up. Chaturanga on your exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Fill up. Empty out. 2 more. Last one. Empty. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Sink low, reach high. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Step or hop back. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior 1, right side. Just 1 breath this time. Inhale all the way to the top. Chaturanga. Exhale all the way to the bottom. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step it through. Inhale to reach. Chaturanga on your exhale. Up dog. Down dog. Yeah, and what we want to get at here is you as an individual moving with your individual breath. If that pace is different than your neighbor's or different than the pace I'm calling, default to your breath. Last one here, fill up. Empty out, feet to hands, halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, sink lower. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Lunge low, reach high. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Down dog. Left side. Take your gaze to the ceiling between your fingers. Nice, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breath in together, blow it out. One more like that, fill up. Lion's breath out. Lift your right leg up behind you. Press it past the back of your mat. All 5 toes face down toward the floor. Nice adjustments. Bend your knee, open your hip, stay here, or flip your dog over. Flip dog can also be accessed by sitting on your bottom first and then pressing up from there. Sometimes it's the easier way to get into it. Take your gaze past your fingertips. One more big breath. Both hands down, side plank on your right side. So right arm down, left arm to the ceiling. There's a million different degrees of intensity to this pose, so choose what works for you. That can be a knee down here, or maybe a leg lifted. You've got 2 more breaths. How tall can you get? Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Exhale. Lift your left leg up behind you. Press through your foot. Flex it, get your toes involved. Lift them, spread them. One more breath here. Bend your knee and open it. Stay or flip your dog over. Yeah, and then both feet land here on 12 o'clock, so parallel to the sides of your mat. Press your heels down to lift the center of your pelvis up toward the ceiling. One more breath to lift your chest to the ceiling. Both hands down, side plank on your left. You choose your pose, how you're going to take it. And then on each inhale here, can you find a little bit of lift? On each exhale, can you pull in at your belly just a little bit more? One more breath. Both hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Nice breath. Keep it up. Inhale here. Exhale it out. Step your right foot forward, crescent lunge. So come down low in your lunge, 90 degrees in your front knee. Now for this one, we want the back foot, just the ball of your foot on the floor. So your heel is lifted up toward the ceiling. Press down in the back foot in the toe mound. If you can also press down here in the baby toe mound. Reach your arms up, look up. Hands to heart center, twist to your right. If your hands are staying together at heart center here, press them in together to open the chest and the upper back. Nice. Now bring your thumbs closer to your chest. One more breath in. Twist it out on the exhale. Come back to crescent lunge. Open up warrior two. Staying with that big lunge in the front knee, get down to 90 degrees. And then look down and see that your knee is tracking straight over your middle toe. So for most of us, we'll want to press out just a little bit toward the right side of the mat. One more breath here. Get really tall in your torso. Extended side angle. Bring those front fingertips down toward the arch of your front foot. Those fingertips can go to a block as well if you need to bring the floor closer. Reach your fingertips past the front edge of your mat. So rather than reaching for the ceiling, reaching up here toward the windows or toward the opposite wall. Nice. One more breath right here. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Exhale it out. One more, fill up. And empty. Crescent lunge, left side. So left foot forward. Stack your heel over the ball mound of your right foot. Now feel for, maybe even look for here that the heel is stacked right over top of the ball of the foot. So for most of us, we've got a little extra room. You could bring your toes all the way up here. Yes, even further. So this is right over the ball of your foot. Press back. Very nice. One more breath to get taller. Hands to heart center, twist to your left. Now your choice here. If the hands are pressing together, press them together. If the arms are going to reach out to the sides, really reach. Get your fingertips involved. Can you create more space here between your shoulder blades? One more breath in. Stay for the twist. Inhale back to crescent lunge. Warrior two. Set your drishti, your gaze right over top of your fingertips. Now everyone can lift the back arm up a little bit to meet the front. Yeah, we always tend to forget about that one and it drops a little bit. Sink down low. One more breath to get tall in your torso. Extended side angle. Keep your knee close to 90 degrees here. And then notice, is my knee stacked right over top of my ankle? Make the adjustments you need in your body. Reach through your fingertips. So you've got to stretch all the way from your back heel through your fingertips. One more breath. Chaturanga. I love when chaturanga is the release pose. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Exhale it out. Move your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, sink down deep, reach up high. Total body expression here. So get your toes involved. Lift them, spread them. Spread your fingertips, light them up. If your chair pose extended all the way to your fingers, what would that feel like? One more breath here. Hands to heart center, twist to your right. Press down through your heels. Again, you can keep the arms at center or open them. Love it. Take a side crow, bird of paradise if you want it. You've got 3 more breaths. Inhale to lengthen. Twist it out on the exhale. 2 more. Last one in. Exhale it out. Inhale back to chair. And fold. Fingers to toes, forward fold. So take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Keeping a little bend in both knees here. That gives you access to pressing down into the floor so you can use the muscles in the backs of your legs to lift up. You're creating that a little bit more of an intense of a hamstring stretch for yourself. Release your toes, inhale, chair pose, sink down, reach high. Hands to heart center, twist to your left. Then notice in your own body here that your chest is above the plane of your hips. For most of us, that just means sitting down a little bit lower. Nice. Extend your fingers or press in. Everything working together to keep you here. 2 more breaths. Last one. Stay for the twist. Inhale, chair pose. And fold, palms to toes, forward fold. So here, gorilla pose. Place the backs of your hands on the floor. Step onto the palms. And bend your knees a lot to make that happen. Drop your head and drop your shoulders. Let yourself take this moment of rest right here. Release your feet, crow. Crow, goddess. If you want to tip your crow into an inversion, you go there. Look and see that your wrists are parallel to the front of your mat. Yeah, and you're just going to create little shelves with the backs of your arms and squeeze in. Crow starts with one toe off the ground. And then maybe the second set of toes comes up, but stay playing with wherever you're at right here. Squeezing in with your knees, pressing out with your elbows. And then no matter how many feet are off the ground, you're getting the same work. 2 more breaths. 1 more fill up. Exhale, step or hop back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Exhale it out. Move your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain reach all the way for the ceiling. Look up. Take eagle pose on your right. So right arm under, right leg over, have a little seat. You can keep your toes on the floor here. Or if you need that extra pulling into center, you could take the toes and wrap them around the back of your calf. Sit low enough here that you can squeeze your thighs in together. So all of that foundation that we're doing, pressing down with our feet, we're pulling that foundation up and keeping us centered. Switch sides, left arm under, left leg over. Opportunity here, if the arm bind isn't quite working out or it doesn't feel good on the shoulders this morning, for a big bear hug. Nice, squeeze the thighs together. 1 more breath. Switch sides, eagle on the right, right arm under, right leg over. Come back to your focal point. If you haven't established one yet, go ahead and pick one now. Some spot that's not moving. And some place that you can keep bringing your eyes back to rest. Switch sides. Keep your drishti right where it is. Sink a little bit lower. Nice, and then reach the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. If somebody were measuring your height right now, what might you do to get taller? Both feet to the ground. Very nice. Standing leg raise. So we're going to take this a little bit different this morning. Take the palms of your hands onto your sacrum, that bony plate back here, with the soft part of your hands right on those bones so you can feel where your hips are in space. We're going to lift the right leg up, bring your knee into your chest, then press your heel forward. Yeah, and then notice here, if the hips want to shift, bring them back down, knee in, press it forward. 1 more time, knee in, press it forward. Can you lift it higher? Take it back to airplane. Keep your hands right where they are. Notice where the hips want to shift and go here. We want them to be even. Nice. Now take the full airplane. Reach your fingers back towards your heel. Keep all 5 of those toes dialed down toward the mat. Nice. Now open up for half moon. Fingertips to a block is very helpful here. Yes, and now press through that back foot. The more we press through the back foot and engage all the muscles in the leg, the lighter the leg gets. And you got to keep pressing. One more breath. Both feet to the floor. Inhale all the way up, extended mountain. And we'll take standing leg raise on the other side. So hands at the back of your hips. Notice everything at level. Lift the left leg. Knee to your chest and then send it forward. Knee to the chest, send it forward. Last time, knee to chest. Can you press it forward a bit higher? Send it back for airplane. Hips stay level here. If you had one of those bubble levels, your bubble would be right in the middle. Reach your fingertips back, full airplane. Keep your breath moving here. And then add a little bit of bend in that standing knee. Open up half moon. Yes, and then right here, start to press all the way through your heel. And that's going to automatically lift your leg. Go ahead, press into my hand. You got it. Lift up one more inch. One more breath. Both feet to the mat. Inhale, extended mountain at the top. Take dancer pose on your right. So catch the inside of your right ankle. Knees together, send that shin straight back. Reach your heart forward. See if you can grab here for your ankle rather than the top of the foot so you can flex the ankle and press your foot toward the ceiling. Nice. Place your eyes back on that drishti point you decided on. One more breath. Dance it on over to the other side, left side. Gaze back on that one drishti point. Breath flowing in and out. Don't hold it. I know it seems like it's going to help. The breath is what helps here. 2 more. Both feet to the ground. Inhale, extended mountain. Take tree pose on your right side. So your right foot can land anywhere except for the inside of your knee. So below or above the knee is where we want to be. Now start to press in. Press your foot into your standing leg and your standing leg back into your foot. Express your arms however they want to be, big and tall, maybe in a bind. Press down through your big toe mounds. 2 more breaths. Take your gaze to the ceiling or close your eyes here. Yeah, and let it get messy. Both feet to the ground. Tree pose, left side. You choose the foot placement. You choose the arm expression. Bring your drishti here to your torso and your core. For many of us, as soon as the arms go up, the front ribs kind of want to flare out. Can you bring them back in towards center? Very nice adjustments. 2 more breaths. Close the eyes or take the gaze to the ceiling. And release both feet to the floor. Inhale, extended mountain at the top of your mat. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga, step or hop back, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right side triangle. So step your right foot all the way up toward the front of your mat. Take up as much space as you can right here. Now see in your feet that you could draw a line from the center of your first heel, your front heel, all the way back to the center of your other heel. Nice, straighten the front leg most of the way. We want to keep a little bend there. Side facing wide leg forward fold, 10 toes to the left side of your mat. Little bit of bend in the knees and have a fold. If you typically add an inversion in here or some type of movement, take that. Take movement that makes you feel something. Whether that's a sense of, I'm doing some work here in this pose, or this is just the movement that feels good to me right now. Little bend in your knees so you can access pressing down into the floor. Nice, get complete in your side to side movements. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. We'll take triangle on the left. So we'll just switch the feet here. Bring the front foot so the side of your foot is parallel to the sides of your mat. Yeah, so your heel, perfect, you got it. Keep your heel right where it is and bring your toes out to about there. Very nice. Reach through both sets of fingertips. Side facing wide leg forward fold, 10 toes towards whichever side of the mat you ended up on. Another option here for an inversion, some movement. I like to take a bind in this second forward fold. So maybe clasp your hands behind you and you can let them spill forward. Nice. And then again, wherever you're at in this pose, press down through your heels. This is part of our grounding series. So we want to feel grounding happening here, not just as a concept, but as like a lived in experience. So press your heels into the floor so you can lift your sit bones all the way to the ceiling. If there were a hand on the back of your sacrum here, you could push that hand up toward the sky. Get complete in your side to side movements. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, extended mountain. And fold. Halfway lift to fill your lungs. Chaturanga, empty them out. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Roll yourself all the way out to a high plank here. Shoulders over wrists. Press your toe mounds into the floor. And we're going to slowly lower to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way on your mat, locust pose. Press your hips down and lift. Reach for your heels. Oh, I love that. Maybe taking a bind behind the back here as well. One more breath. Lower all the way down, right cheek to the mat, windshield wiper your feet. Locust pose number 2, press down, rise up. Now the amount that you rise is going to be different for all of us. Maybe the chest goes up just a couple of inches. Maybe the toes stay on the floor. You create this pose in a way that makes you feel like you've got length all the way up your spine. One more breath. Lower all the way down. Left cheek to the mat. Take your feet side to side. Floor bow. We'll do 2. So you choose if you want to do one leg and then the other or both. Gonna reach for the ankles, outside or inside. Now press your shins to the back of your mat. Allow that to lift your chest. If you've got some squeezy glutes going on, let them go. All the work here, you should feel it's happening in the legs. One breath. Lower all the way down. Cheek to the mat. Take your feet side to side. Floor bow number 2, opposite foot or both feet again. Squeeze your knees here in together towards center so they're hips width distance apart or closer. Nice. Now press your feet up toward the ceiling like you want to stamp them up into my hands. Nice. One more breath. Lower all the way down. Place your hands at your lowest ribs. And on an inhale, upward facing dog. Pull your chest forward. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Exhale it out. Bring your knees to the mat for camel pose. We'll do just one camel. So shoulders over hips, hips over your knees. Place your hands in your imaginary back pockets. And then your chest, you're going to send it all the way to the ceiling. Maybe there's a mini back bend to be had there. But same as in the locust, what we really want here, rather than a huge back bend, is all of this space in the pressing up. On your next inhale, rise up and out. Take downward facing dog. Lengthen out your spine, press your heels of your hands into the floor, and send your hips all the way back. Yeah, create all the space you can here. Lift all the way up. Nice, you got it. One more breath. Jump through to a seat. All right. On your bum, staff pose. So feet right out in front, arms out in front like a mummy. Find yourself sitting up on your sit bones. So if there's any squish, move it out of the way. And we'll take a little C-shaped curve in the spine. Start to lower down. On your inhale, pause. On your exhale, start to lower down a bit more. Yeah, how slow can we go? Inhale, pause. Exhale, lower. You got one more. Inhale, pause. Exhale, slowly lower the rest of the way back down to your mat. Bridge pose. So knees to the ceiling. Stack your heels directly under your knees and press your hips up. You've got lots of options here with your arms. You could take a bind underneath of you on the mat. Yeah, now press your triceps down into the floor from there. One more breath. Lower all the way down. Knees side to side if they need it. And then bridge pose number 2. Press down, rise up on your inhale. All the work here is happening in pressing your feet down. If you're used to doing hip bridges in like a strength class or some other modality, squeezy glutes are probably happening here just as a default. See if you can let that go. One more breath. Lower all the way down. You have got 3 more back bends, and you get to decide what to do with them. So bridge pose or wheel pose. On an inhale, rise on up. Stay right here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, breath in together and out together. Inhale, rise, bridge or wheel number 2. for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Last one. Set your feet here at 12 o'clock. Nice. Now press your feet into the floor so they don't move. Now go for your wheeler bridge. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way back down to your mat. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet come together. Knees splay out wide. Place a hand on your belly, a hand on your heart. And then just notice the difference in your breathing. After a bunch of wheels, I typically find my own breath is a bit disorganized. So find those 4 parts to the breath here. Your inhale to completion, the pause, the exhale to completion, and that pause. Dead bug, feet to the ceiling. Grab for the outer edges of your feet, the backs of your thighs, or maybe the fronts of your shins. Whichever one of those allows you here to keep your sacrum on the floor so that bony plate is stuck to the mat. Nice. You can rock side to side here for happy baby if that would feel nice. Take your feet all the way to the ceiling. We're going to go straight for abdominal twists. So fingertips to the back of your skull, elbows open wide, and then twist side to side. You can keep your legs up here. You could bend them to 90. You could also extend one and then the other as you move side to side. Your choice. You choose the intensity. You choose the pace. Yeah, and then smile and breathe. Bring some joy into this work, right? It's not just a bunch of ab exercises. This is how we take the work we do here and take it out into the world. We have a container to put it in. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees, roll forward and backward like a ball 3 times. And then we'll meet all the way up in boat pose. So balancing on your sit bones, feet can be on the floor or lifted. Hands can be behind your legs for support or lifted. Now lift your chest to the ceiling. Keep breathing. Pull your jawbone straight back towards your neck. One more big breath. Hug your knees, rock back and forth. Make your way to right side half pigeon. So this can be taken in 2 ways. If you want to take it on your belly, it looks like bringing your right knee towards your right wrist, with the ankle headed over somewhere toward the left. Now, for all of us, how far that ankle gets over to the left or how far it is toward the front of the mat is going to be different for everyone. And then what might be helpful here is a little bit of support underneath of your hip. Yeah, so you can place yourself down on that. That way you can extend the back leg all the way, or at least to whatever degree is there today. 3 more breaths right here. After your third exhale, switch sides. And you can take that back through a down dog if you want the extra stretch in your legs, or just bring that foot all the way around. So left knee toward the left wrist, with the ankle headed over toward the right. Keep your left foot flexed here. And that's going to keep any sort of rotation or twisting out of the knee joint. As you settle here, take your inner drishti, your proprioception, all the way back, your extended leg, and then notice what's going on with that heel. For most of us, we like to kind of let it fall in or fall out based on just how our hips are feeling that day. Can you feel for yourself that your heel is actually headed up toward the ceiling rather than in or out? Nice adjustments. Stay for 3 more breaths. Press yourself up and out. We'll meet in seated single leg extension. So right leg extends all the way out in front of you. Left leg comes in like tree pose. On your inhale, reach both sides of your body up to your ears. And on your exhale, fold, sending your chest towards your toes. And this is also a really great spot for a strap. If your fingers don't quite reach all the way to your toes. And also a great spot to add some bend in your knee here. We want at least a little bend. This may be helpful in making the arms a bit longer. One for you as well if you want to give it a try. Yeah, place the strap down here right underneath the ball of the foot. Switch sides, left leg extended. And again, you choose little or big bend in that knee. If you feel that the back is rounding a lot, you have a big C-shaped curve, that's an indicator that there may be a bit bigger of a bend available in the knee for you. So you can straighten out the spine, get nice and long. Release your toes, both feet forward. Little or big bend in the knee. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold forward. And if you can feel that fold here happening from your hip creases. So that may also require a bigger bend in the knee than what you're used to. Release your toes, tabletop or reverse plank. Place the soles of your feet on the floor, fingertips towards your heels, and we're just gonna send our hips up. Hips up, chest up. Maybe the gaze starts to go back a little bit if that feels good for the neck. Look for the stretch, and then lower all the way to your mat for fish pose. Take your block, and you're gonna place it right between your shoulder blades lengthwise. And then we're just gonna lay back like you're a mermaid on the beach. We want our hips here to be able to touch the ground. Yeah, just like that. And then if there is any discomfort in your neck, it's a great place for a second block. Maybe you might want to place one straight under your skull just for a little bit of support. An extra one just in case either of you want it. Let your shoulders fall toward the floor here. Lengthen out your lumbar spine. If you feel any sort of heat or tension there, a little tuck of the hips might be just what you need. So that would be lifting the hips an inch or so, sending your tailbone towards your heels, and then replacing the hips to the floor. Okay, you feel all that extra space that just opened up. Roll to your right side to release your block or your elbows. And we're gonna get upside down. So you decide where you're taking this. If you've got a headstand or handstand practice, take that on at the front of your mat or take up some wall space. Shoulder stand, waterfall, all sorts of options here. We just wanna get our feet above our hips and our hips possibly above our heart. So waterfall is a great place to start, laying flat on your back and feet just up toward the ceiling. You could place a block underneath the hips for a little bit of support. Yeah, and then you can take that into the shoulder stand. Bring your hands toward the back of your hips. Yes. Now press up and bring your heels, stack them right over top of your hips. So keep your hips where they are. Yeah, that spot where you feel like you almost want to fall over, that's where you want to be. Press through right there. Full inversions. Take a couple more breaths and make your way to a child's pose. If you're in waterfall or shoulder stand, take plow. Bring your feet down toward the floor behind you. If your toes touch the floor, you can release your low back and take a bind down by your mat. Plows move to deaf yogi. Bring your knees down around your ears. Let your back get really round. Now place your arms long on your mat and use them as brakes. So roll down one vertebrae at a time, all the way down onto your mat. Hug your knees into center and drop them to your right side for a supine twist. Heidi and friends at home, I invite you to dim your lights if you'd like to. And if you've got something nice prepared for yourself for Shavasana, indulge, get that ready. Feel for here that the hips are stacked one on top of the other. Bring your knees in through center, switch to the other side. Arms out wide to a T. Take your gaze to the right. Knees come back through to center, Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together with the knees out wide. Use this moment here to set up for your Shavasana. You've all got a cold eye towel. Feel free to reach for that when you are ready for it. To place on your forehead, over your eyes, over your neck or chest. Shavasana. Take your arms long and wide, your legs long and wide. And you create a pose where you feel completely supported by the floor beneath you. And don't ever feel that you're stuck here in the stillness. If there's a movement that needs to be made, something that needs adjusted for you to get comfortable, take that on. I'll share today's passage from Melody Beatty's Journey to the Heart, titled Joy is Your Next Lesson. Learning compassion, understanding love, and experiencing joy. That is our purpose and our reason for being here. That is our true mission on this planet. Learning compassion may have been difficult because in order to feel compassion for others without judgment, we had to go through difficult times ourselves. Times when, despite our best efforts, we couldn't help ourselves. Times when, despite our searching, we couldn't find the answers. As many say, it's usually our own pain and problems that make us compassionate. Understanding love may have taken many years, many heartbreaks, and much searching and grasping until we discovered that the key to love was our own heart. We may have discovered that it wasn't exactly what we hoped or thought it would be. Embrace that it's different and embrace that it's better. Don't give up and don't stop now. Don't allow the residue and the pain and the tiredness from the early parts of your journey stop you from going forward. We had to first learn about compassion and love in order to learn joy. The hard work is done. Now you have reached your reward. Now it's time to learn joy. Begin to deepen your breath. And bring some small movements back to the body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll out your wrists and your ankles. Make your way toward a full body stretch, fingers in one direction, toes in the other. And then hug it into center. Bring your knees to your chest. Rock to your right side for infant's pose. Create this in a way that you feel supported. Give your forehead something soft to land on. Allow your hips to sink heavy. Send yourself some gratitude for showing up and doing the work. Send the other yogis here in the studio, at home, across the river at the York studio, and up in Harrisburg taking class right now. All of those yogis showed up to do the work with you. Send an extra little piece of gratitude here to the person in your life or the thing in your life that got you to come here. What started your yoga journey? Who inspired your yoga journey? Send them a little thank you. Press your left hand into the floor to rise to a comfortable seat. Eyes closed or drishti settled right in front of your nose. On an inhale, we reach for the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll end together with one Om breath in. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. We bow and acknowledge each other. Thank you to each of you for showing up, doing the thing, and doing it in an authentic way, so the rest of us had the space to do the same. Namaste. Great work, yogis. Thank you, Heidi, and the others online for joining us. So good to have you. Questions, comments, feedback, y'all know where to find me. If you're interested in those workshops coming up, I would love to give you details, point you in the direction to where those details are to be had, and help you get enrolled. If you borrowed a mat, leave it where it is, and I'll get to it. Props leave on the floor up here so I know which ones need wiped down, and I'll see y'all out front. Watch your eyes. Thanks again, Heidi. Have a great rest of your weekend and Happy New Year if I don't talk to you before then.